Well, we know what to expect from City on their best days, Janusz, and especially coming to a final. Obviously, Pep Guardiola is so desperate to win with this Manchester City side. What's Inter's best approach against this team in the final?
That they simply don't care. I've said it before. That's why, they were one of my teams. I had them in the final simply because they're uncomfortable to play. And now they also, as we see, can score goals. But, they reminded me of Jose Mourinho's Inter from, 2010. They are Serie A team. They will never care how they win it. Neither will their fans. There'll be no expectation. It's a one-off. And let's face it. I mean, great goalkeeper, very good back three. A midfield that certainly is going to be able to cope with Manchester City much better than this Real Madrid midfield could. And I think we all knew that. And now you have Lautaro Martinez with his best season, scoring in every game. Probably the best moment for Lukaku. And watching yesterday, what can you say about Edin Dzeko at 37, who was making defensive sprints for 50, 60 yards and still looked dangerous on set pieces, for and against, which is very important, has helped out. So I think this is going to be a very, very uncomfortable one, not to mention that, of course, not a home support, and it's a one-off. And, that's different in terms of managing than home and away.
But you think City will win it?
I think they're favorites, but let me put it this way. If Inter won it, there'll be zero shock here somehow. If they, even if it was an ugly game and they survived the onslaught, which you can against Manchester City, if they frustrate Manchester City, it's possible. But for me, Manchester City are clear favorites.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, we can't say that City aren't favourites, but I do agree with Janusz in the sense that Inter will go into this game. They'll have no sense of wanting to match City what they do. They'll have no concerns whatsoever about playing their game. I think sometimes teams can go in against Man City and be terrified of what they play and try to find a way to beat them. Inter will be Inter. They'll be Italian. They'll be tough to it. They'll be so well organised. And nobody plays you two up front anymore. And Inter will give a challenge to City that they're not used to. They'll have it to deal with Lautaro and Dzeko or Lautaro and Lukaku. It will be a different challenge. Now, obviously, Inter might decide that having two forwards is too much of a risk against Man City. But I don't know. I think they'll stick with it. And I think midfield, they're a very experienced team, Inter. And I think that helps them, that the players will be experienced enough to know how to handle the occasion. They play for a super club, like we were talking before about the historic clubs. Inter are a historic club, You look in the stands last night and you've got people like Luis Figo there. You've got all the greats from the past. And I think that makes a difference. If you play for a club that you can look around and you can see the ghosts of the past that have tread the path before you, that have done it before you can take inspiration from, Zanetti was there last night. I think City haven't got that yet. If you're a Man City player, you're doing it, you're walking that path the first time. And I think something does actually help to be at a club that has that history and you can look around thinking, this club has done it before, we know how to do it. And it takes the edge away. So I think Inter they are probably the best placed team to beat City on a one-off occasion because of the way they play and because they've got that old school experience and that belief, and they're in form as well. They've hit some form at the right time. So, and also a little bit of narrative as well. Dzeko obviously was the big guy at Man City, helped win the league that time. There's 3 ex-Man United players there. Now, what a story that would be if Mkhitaryan and Lukaku or Darmian had an impact in stopping City win the treble. Who knows?
Well, we will find out soon. Your thoughts as we wrap up the show, Alex?
I mean, look, yeah, in a final, in a one-off game, you never know. I mean, I would probably be amazed if City didn't do it, unless the nerves of the occasion and being so close once again, if that somehow gets to them. But I think City will have more than enough, personally.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.